So this is a package of sun art paper or cyanotype paper that you're going to get for this project. And the first thing I want to say is make sure that when you open it, there's a black bag inside that you do not want to open in the sun. Let me show you what's inside. So inside there is, you can see there's a piece of plexiglass, which you'll want to take the blue off of. That's just to protect the plexi from scratches. And then inside is this is a light sealed bag that has the paper in it. So you want to make sure not to open it and look inside, but only open it when you're ready to make a print. So I'm going to slide that back inside. The other thing on this package, on the back, it does have directions for how to make a sun print, and you can follow those. And I also have a handout that has a little more detailed instructions for how to develop it and how to dry them, so you can look at that as well. And actually, back here in the yellow, if you're interested in the chemical process, then there's a little explanation about how cyanotypes actually work, and then you can easily find more online if you want to research the chemistry and how that works. Okay, so this is the piece of plexiglass that comes inside the kit, which looks blue, but it's only because there is, like I said, this plastic sheet on it, and it's on both sides. So you get this ready to peel off. And this is helpful for a couple of different reasons. One is it's the same size as a piece of paper that you're going to be making a print of. So you can use it in advance to play with composition and placing objects in the arrangement that you want them in. And sometimes I do this inside, but it's actually also great if you're in, hopefully you have a sunny day to do this, is that you can compose not only with the objects, but also with the shadows that they make. So I brought a bunch of different things that you can use to expose your print with. And usually when I do this workshop in person, I have this huge box of toys that were my daughter's, some of which you'll see today here. But what I want to show you is kind of why I brought the things that I did, which is, as I talked about in the lecture, sometimes having repetition is a fun way to compose. So I brought shapes that repeat and strings that you could move throughout the paper, things that make for obvious repetition possibilities, shapes repeating. And then if you want to also get sort of more literal, you could use kind of recognizable objects that you could play with. So there are different dolls and toys and things like that. The other thing that is fun to play with are objects that are transparent or semi-translucent. So what you want to do is have some objects that are opaque, meaning the sun won't go through these objects. You'll have just a white area wherever you put this down. But other objects like lace or ribbon, or what I have here are these little mesh filters that you use for making tea, will show a pattern through them. And then sometimes it's fun to see what happens if you put, say, a marble that's semi-transparent but has also objects inside. And what happens when the light kind of bounces off of that. Even this little disco ball has been fun for people to play with. A lens, really anything. You know, you can also, these are all sort of man-made objects, but as you saw in the lecture, it's very common for people to use plants and nature to make cyanotypes. So really anything you can grab in your house. You don't have to buy anything for this. Anything that's outside in your yard, things that you find around your house, you can use for this process. So as I said, this piece of plexiglass has advantages for when you're arranging your composition, and you might do that outside to see which way the shadows are falling, because those will also be part of your final piece. It's good to do that on top of some kind of, it can be a piece of cardboard, doesn't have to be anything special, but if you are arranging in one place and then want to move it, it just kind of keeps things still. And then with the sun paper, the cyanotype paper, again, so you can pull this bag out. This is a light safe bag. But I usually go either into the shade or indoors to open it, or if I have to open it outside, I kind of hold it down close to my body, reach in, try to open it as little as possible, and pull out one sheet and then turn it upside down. So the blue side is the part that's going to be exposing. And actually, as soon as you take it out, it starts to expose. So I'm going to very quickly try to slip it under this arrangement that I have. And we'll let that start exposing. So there are no set rules for this. Anything I say you can actually do the opposite of, but one thing is that you don't want to be arranging things necessarily after you take this out. So the reason I was saying arrange things first on the plexiglass is that once this is out and starts exposing, if you're moving things around, then you won't get as strong a white image or mark from those objects. So that said, of course, you can experiment and play with moving grass, or I've even had ants crawling through the paper and see what happens, see if that works. Or halfway through, I might throw something down on top while still trying to leave those objects as they are. So the amount of time that it takes to expose the paper really depends on how strong the sun is, which depends on the weather. In New Mexico, we usually often have full sun. Today is actually a little bit overcast, so I might leave this out for longer than I normally would. Different times of day, different times of year, the sun is up at different strengths. But you definitely want to get it outside in full sun, and you don't want to be in the shade of a tree or in the shade of a building unless that's part of your plan, which I'll show you, which I've shown you in the lecture, one artist works with intentionally. So if you notice, when I first pulled out the cyanotype paper, it was blue. And as it exposes, it becomes lighter and becomes a light green color. So students always ask me, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? And it's not an exact science. So it's not something that you have to be super careful with a stopwatch and get it out exactly at the right time. And again, it depends on how the sun is. So you kind of keep an eye on it. You could be making two at once. What you don't want to do is be standing in such a way that your body casts a shadow on it. You want to make sure it's fully getting all the light that it can get. Okay, so as you can see, the paper has turned a light green, and it's been exposing for about 10 minutes. And that's because it is an overcast day. The sun has become a little stronger, so now I can see the shadows. Yesterday, when I was playing with this process, the sun was very strong, and I made exposures from anywhere between a minute and 5 minutes. So again, it's not an exact science. So what you do next, once it's exposed, you want to, as quickly as you can, pull the things off, and you'll see this blue, and then you stick it in a bath of water. And I have a tray here, but again, you could do this in a bathtub. I brought a bucket out here. You could do it with a bucket. You could use, anything, plastic container, anything that holds water. And what you want to do right now, this is from my days working in the darkroom. You can see I'm slightly agitating the water. So you want to make sure that it's just not sitting still and having some parts that aren't exposed to the water. So it's basically just keeping the water moving around so it flushes out the chemistry that's on there. And you might put this in and say, what's happening? I lost my image, because it does get lighter at first. And then eventually the image will start to emerge. And actually, your pieces get darker over time. It's, again, depending on where you are and how warm it is, but somewhere around 2 hours or so after it's dry, it will be a lot darker. So you can use just absolutely plain water to do this. That's fine. If you want to get a better sense of what it will look like once it dries, if you have any hydrogen peroxide in the house, and again, you don't need to go out and buy this, or sometimes even just a little bit of lemon that I squeeze into the water. I'm just going to put a few drops in, and let's see if it makes the print darker. Oops. Again, it's not an exact science, which makes it fun. So I'm still agitating it, and the amount of time in the water, oh, see it's turning a little darker on the edges where the hydrogen peroxide hit it. So the amount of time that you want to do this wash is anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes. And it also depends on how much you move the water around it. So I'm just going to do it a little more so I can kind of mix that hydrogen peroxide in it. And again, you don't need it. It just shows you more quickly than it would otherwise, how dark the image will finally get. So I want to mention too that this is actually a very safe process. If this was darkroom chemistry or other type of things, I wouldn't be putting my hand in the water bath or the chemical bath. But this is a very safe process. I think on the package it says for 6 and up, even though people of all ages use it. So I'm going to, this has, I think this has been in the water long enough, so I'm just going to take it out. And there are lots of different ways that you can dry the image. So when I have a whole bunch of students doing this, I often have a piece of string that I tie between 2 trees or any kind of structure, and then we use paper clips or clothesline clips to just hang it so it dries like this. So you can also just simply use paper towels and set it down there to dry. And it should take anywhere from an hour or 2 to dry. What happens is, as it's paper and it's pretty thin paper, it will curl up on the edges. So once it's dry, just take any book and either place a big heavy book or a couple books on top of it, and for a little while, and that will flatten it out again. Okay, so we'll look at this print again later after it dries. So now the sun is actually much stronger, the clouds have moved off, and you can see more clearly what a difference the shadows make. So for example, this thing, Pez doll of, I think it's Snow White, you might think, oh, that's cool to use, potentially. But if I put it straight down, it sort of just looks blob-like. You can't tell what it is. So this is where you want to play with the shadows as well as the object. So if I tilt it to the side, then you can actually see a profile of the face. So I'm going to do an exposure of this so you can see how the shadows also create shape. Again, I'm putting the bag actually in the shade underneath me and trying to get just one piece of paper out fairly quickly. See if I can do that. And then make sure it's tucked closed. Okay, very blue piece to begin with. I'm going to slip it underneath. And this one should be a much shorter exposure as the sun is actually stronger now. Another thing you can do with either the plexi that comes in the kit, or if you have a larger piece of plexi or glass, is a couple things you can do. You can actually draw on top of it using Sharpie or a dry erase marker and see how that works. I read on the back of this package, which I never actually heard before, they suggested trying sunblock. And I will show you a couple of examples of that I did yesterday and failed. But that's the beauty of this process, is that so much of this is experimentation, and failing and being able to experiment and fail is a large part of making art. So that's another way you can use the plexi, but also you can use it as a weight to press down objects. Because I'll show you with some natural objects here. If they're not sort of flat down on the paper, they might not come out as sharp as they would if they were actually pressed down. So I'm going to put these underneath the plexi, this piece of plexi, and see how that actually presses them down, so hopefully it will register, the roots and the leaves will register more clearly. And I'm not going to worry too much about composition. I'm going to take another sheet out and just stick it underneath. And again, I'm trying to work quickly because now the sun is stronger. It's already started to expose. Okay, so then I'm going to leave that one exposing. You can also use rocks or something if you want to crop off, eventually cut off the borders. You could use your small piece of plexi to hold it down that way. So this has been a much shorter exposure, and it's already turning a light green. So I'm going to take this out and put it in the water bath. This. So you can see the profile of her face here, and it will again slowly change value, lights and darks, as it develops and as it dries. And it will seem like it's disappearing, but it will come back. So not to worry. This piece of plexiglass that I'm using I did clean it beforehand, but I'm noticing there are some scratches on it, and that's something that can be fun to play with as well. I have had students use their plexi and put drops of water over it and see how that works. When I did put sunblock on it, and you may have more success than I did, I was using my fingers to play with it, paint brushes to or things to scrape it away. Again, it's really about experimentation and play. So hopefully this is a fun process for you. So this one has exposed, it turned light green. I'm going to pull it out and develop this one as well. So I know from experience, just having done this many times, that just looking at these leaves and the plants, that it's a lot sharper than it would be if I hadn't used plexi or glass to actually kind of smush it against the paper and weigh it down. If you're relying just on the shadow, it might be a softer, not as softer or a fuzzier image. But you can see that these lines, and there's actually amazing detail in the leaves here. We'll see what this looks like when it dries. So if you're doing a bunch of these prints, your water bath might turn a light blue eventually, which is absolutely fine. And I wanted to let you know, as I mentioned before, that this is a very safe, non-toxic process. So when you're done with the water, you feel free to put it down the drain or put it outside in the dirt. It's completely safe.